Previously on Dragon Ball Shinken, the battle against the gods of destruction seemed to have come to an end for Vegeta, who was about to face Cumber, the God Slayer. But suddenly a mysterious being appears, and his power is so great that even Vegeta himself is frightened. With Vegeta occupied by this new opponent, Goku goes to Cumber to confront the King of Evil Saiyans. Who is this mysterious guy who appeared to face Vegeta? How strong is he? And what about Goku and Cumber? Who will win this fight? Find out now. Episode 25, The True Power of Goku and Vegeta. In Universe 7 is the home planet of the evil Saiyans, named Planet Cumber, whose king terrifies even the supreme god of the multiverse. At the center of this planet is the king's castle, and in the main hall of this castle, Goku faces the Majesty. Cumber, the God Slayer, is seated on his throne, while old Goku stands before him. Cumber rises and says, "Well, you've dealt with my bodyguards and reached me, so allow the great Cumber to grant you an audience." Cumber propels his own body toward Goku. The King of Saiyans comes with a punch, and Goku responds with a punch too. The impact of the fists of the two Saiyans causes a massive shockwave that simply shatters the great castle of King Cumber, sending the fortified structure flying into pieces through the air. In the center of the castle debris, Goku and Cumber remain with their fists in shock, neither retreating nor advancing an inch. "Cumber, you've caused great terror in this universe and others. Today your reign of terror will come to an end," Goku vows. "Let's see," Cumber responds. Vegeta has just noticed someone approaching him. This someone is a completely bizarre being with 4 arms, long hair, and wearing the attire of a god of destruction. This being exudes an extremely dense aura of destruction, and his power is utterly terrifying. What's this now? Vegeta wonders, simultaneously surprised by this sudden appearance and frightened by the sinister power this guy is showing. Vegeta knows all the gods of destruction, but has never heard of this guy, and wonders where this peculiar creature came from. The mysterious man stares at him with a murderous look. He smiles in a morbid way, making Vegeta realize that his bloodlust is unbelievable. While facing this opponent, he thinks, "I thought Cumber seemed like a crazy killer, but this guy's bloodlust is even greater, and the energy he emanates is so chaotic and destructive that I've never seen it, even among the gods of destruction." The enemy advances in a sudden attack. Vegeta sees the attack coming but simply can't react. He thinks about retreating, but the man grabs his arm to prevent a retreat, and then delivers an extremely powerful punch to Vegeta's chest. That punch is so strong that it generates an absolutely monstrous impact wave that simply cracks the walls of reality. Internally injured by the impact of that blow, Vegeta begins to bleed. Blood comes out of his nose, mouth, eyes, and ears all at once. How is this possible? This guy's strength is absolutely monstrous. The Saiyan god of destruction thinks, completely shocked. But now that Vegeta has received a blow from this guy, he has managed to feel his energy a little better and recognizes him. It can't be, he thinks. In the palace of the Almighty, Shinken tells Zeno who this mysterious creature is. This is Iwan, the Grand Minister says. "Iwan, the god of destruction of Universe 1? Zeno asks, completely surprised and confused. Shinken confirms and says that, in fact, this is Iwan's original appearance, a form that has not been shown for millions of years, a form that he simply hid from everyone all this time because he despises it. "Lord Zeno, do you remember how the idea of creating the gods of destruction came about?" Shinken asks. Zeno says no, as it has been a long time since that happened. Shinken recalls the entire story for Zeno, reminding him that initially the universes were complete chaos, as everything was very new, and there was no divine hierarchy to maintain balance. Among all the universes, the worst was undoubtedly Universe 1, completely consumed by wars and violence. It was an imbalanced universe where terror and chaos reigned. In this universe, a warrior was born, who was as powerful as he was crazy. Driven by madness and the trauma of war, he went mad and decided to destroy all sources of war in his universe. Where there was war and chaos, this man was there to eliminate the instigators of disorder. His desire to destroy these chaos-causing was so intense that he unconsciously developed a technique that obliterated his targets without a trace. This technique was later called Hakai. But this madness had an effect, as over the years with the destruction of chaos instigators, Universe 1 became safe, and transformed from the most chaotic among the universes to the most balanced. Shinken had the idea to make Iwan a god of Universe 1, a deity whose role was to destroy anything that disturbed the balance of the universe. However, as he was an untamed beast, it took a lot of work to help him control himself and his powers, and an angel was assigned to serve as a tutor. After all the destruction Iwan caused, it was necessary to create new things, or else Universe 1 would be a vast emptiness. Thus, the idea of creating a god of destruction, the Supreme Kai, emerged. This experiment worked well in Universe 1, so they decided to do the same in other universes, giving rise to the gods of destruction, Supreme Kais, and angel tutors. It was all thanks to Iwan, the first god of destruction. Vegeta flies towards Iwan and lands a punch in his chest, but Vegeta's hand hurts much more than Iwan's chest. Iwan retaliates with a low side punch that crushes Vegeta's ribs, causing him to scream as he recoils, feeling his bones being crushed inside his body. Seeing no effect from physical attacks, Vegeta resorts to energy attacks, launching a point-blank power wave that hits Iwan directly. But he remains motionless, acting as if the attack is nothing. Seeing his indifference to his attacks, Vegeta is completely astonished. While watching in amazement at what is happening, Zeno tells Shinken that he still doesn't quite understand why Iwan has two such different appearances. Shinken explains that Iwan has two very distinct personalities. Internally, he was a great pacifist, someone who, born in such a chaotic universe and having suffered greatly for it, desired peace and tranquility above all else. However, his desire for peace drove him mad, and he began to seek this peace by destroying all the chaos he saw. To do this, he had to surrender to another side of his personality, a dark and brutal side. In simple terms, there were two Iwans, the peaceful Iwan who values peace and tranquility, and the demonic Iwan who destroys without any mercy everything he considers against peace. When Iwan became a god of destruction, the prevailing side was his beastly side. But with the help of his angel tutor, he managed to bring out his good side, which remained in control all these years. However, after being defeated by Vegeta, Iwan unconsciously must have understood that his good side would not be strong enough to deal with this evil, so his bestial side returned to control. Zeno argues that Vegeta is not the bad side of the story since he's fighting against Cumber, who is causing the chaos. It is Iwan who is on the wrong side and dominated by the energy of chaos. Shinken says that this is true, but explains that obviously Iwan is not aware of what is happening, and his mind is completely warped. In his mind, Vegeta is the evil that must be fought, not him. After creating a huge globe formed by the energy of destruction, Vegeta launches this power against Iwan, who, while advancing towards him, points one of his hands and explodes this globe with his Hakai, and then reaches Vegeta with a very powerful punch in the abdomen, simply penetrating the Saiyan's body with his hand. In a desperate act, Vegeta reacts by opening his mouth to launch a wave of energy point blank at Iwan's face. But he behaves as if it were nothing and simply covers Vegeta's mouth with one of his hands and with one squeeze breaks his jaw. Zeno tells Shinken that he had said that Beerus was the strongest among the gods of destruction, but the power that Iwan is displaying now is even greater than Beerus's, much greater in fact. Shinken corrects Zeno, saying that he never claimed Beerus was the strongest among the gods. In reality, Beerus believed to be the strongest, and other gods believed that too, such as Quaitella, who always competed against him for the title of strongest. But the truth is that all this time, none of them even came close to Iwan, who kept his real power hidden away. Iwan never cared to be recognized as the strongest among the gods, as he always repudiated the evil side present in his body. In summary, the one Vegeta is facing now is the first god of destruction, and also the most powerful Hakaishin of all time. After receiving a punch from Iwan, Vegeta had his abdomen pierced by the hand of the god of Universe 1. While the enemy's hand is embedded in his body, Vegeta grabs him by the forearm and counterattacks with a headbutt. However, it is Vegeta's forehead that is injured, cracking completely after the impact with Iwan's face, with blood pouring abundantly from the wounds. Iwan pushes Vegeta away with a flick, causing him to spin several times through space. On planet Cumber, the battle is happening with frenetic intensity, with the two Saiyans exchanging numerous blows in the planet's sky. Due to the intensity of their battle, the sky is completely overcast and releasing intense electrical beams. Goku delivers a kick to Cumber's face, who skillfully dodges and tries to attack with an energy blast. But Goku manages to avoid it by kicking Cumber's hand in another direction. After hitting the opponent's hand, Goku stretches and points the same foot at his face to release a wave of energy. However, Cumber dodges by throwing his head backward and downward. Afterward, Cumber grabs Goku's foot, spins him several times, and throws him from the sky to the ground. However, Goku lands on the ground, performing a series of acrobatics that reduce the impact of his fall, allowing him to land safely. Goku praises Cumber, saying that he is really using Ultra Instinct very well, despite having learned it a short time ago. But their attention is drawn to something else, Iwan's power, even though he is universes away. Cumber is impressed by Iwan's immense power until now and complains that in their fight, the god of Universe 1 did not come close to using such power. But upon further reflection, Cumber says he is grateful for that, because if Iwan had used all that power when they fought, he wouldn't have had a chance of winning. Goku remains silent as he feels the monstrous power of the god of Universe 1. Cumber notices great concern in him and asks if Goku is worried about Vegeta. Cumber is right. Goku is very worried about Vegeta, as he senses his ki diminishing rapidly. Deciding what to do, Goku apologizes to Cumber and then uses instant transmission. Vegeta is floating in space, completely motionless. Damn! I didn't expect that this damn guy could be so strong. I don't stand a chance of winning in the state I'm in now. Iwan extends his hand toward Vegeta and fires a small spear of destruction power at him. Looking at that attack coming his way, Vegeta recognizes that it is enough power to kill him, so he closes his eyes to await his death. But then Goku appears and teleports Vegeta away with instant transmission, saving him. Goku takes them both to some empty planet, and on this planet he gives a Senzu bean to Vegeta, explaining that when he went to the Korin Tower, he took 2 Senzus, one for each of them, and he thought it would be the fairest thing to do. After eating the bean, Vegeta is completely recovered, but he reprimands Goku for interfering in his fight and also feels a bit embarrassed about using a Senzu bean. Goku says it was either that or Vegeta would die, so he preferred to intervene. Moreover, since he had faced so many opponents, it would be unfair to fight against the guy without being completely healed, so it's not cheating. Vegeta finds himself forced to agree, acknowledging that Iwan is a much more powerful opponent than he ever imagined, and there was no possibility of fighting him in such a wounded state. Goku agrees, stating that at least he is also fully recovered to face Cumber, which will be absolutely necessary. Even in this dramatic situation, Vegeta lets a smile escape and tells Goku that he never imagined they would encounter opponents this strong, which moves him emotionally. Goku also smiles and admits he feels the same way. They realize that Iwan is already approaching that planet, flying at an incredible speed. Goku says he will go back to Cumber and wishes good luck to Vegeta, who does the same. Goku departs using instant transmission. Without waiting for Iwan's arrival, Vegeta flies towards him and collides with the body of the other Hakaishin, each stopping the other's movement and then both retracting. Vegeta notices that Iwan was a bit surprised by that, so with a defiant smile on his face, the Saiyan God says that things won't be so easy for Iwan now. Vegeta begins to elevate his ki, releasing an extremely powerful destruction energy aura that makes the space vacuum tremble. Looking at Iwan, he says he will show him the true power of Vegeta, the god of destruction. He advances against Iwan, surprising him with his speed and landing an elbow right in the middle of the face. Next comes a sequence of punches to the face of the god of Universe 1, who receives all the blows without any reaction. What do you think about that, huh? It's not so easy when I'm not on the brink of death, is it? Vegeta asks while continuously hitting his opponent. To finish the sequence, Vegeta closes one of his hands with all his strength while accumulating a large amount of destruction power, and then hits Iwan squarely in the face with a punch that, at the same time as it hits the enemy, creates a massive explosion right in his face. Receiving this extremely powerful blow, Iwan is thrown far away at a speed that surpasses the speed of light by thousands of times. At an equal speed, Vegeta pursues the adversary, cutting through space behind his opponent while gaining momentum for another blow and concentrating his destruction power in another hand. Iwan's forced displacement speed decreases, but not Vegeta's, who comes at him with a punch at least 100 times more powerful than the last. However, when he delivers the blow, he is held by Iwan, who joins his 4 hands in front of his body to block the punch. Upon hitting his hands, it releases an absolutely gigantic shockwave at the same time as an absurd amount of destruction energy that spreads around. The reality walls of that universe are completely shattered, almost breaking apart. Damn! Did this damn guy manage to hold that? Vegeta wonders, impressed, while his hand is held by Iwan. Keeping one of his hands holding Vegeta's punch, Iwan uses the other 3 to deliver a sequence of punches to him, hitting Vegeta all over his body. Finally, he finishes with a triple punch with all 3 hands to Vegeta's abdomen, pushing him away. After pushing Vegeta away with his triple punch, Iwan joins his 4 hands to launch a quadruple energy beam, which, when Vegeta sees it coming, responds with an energy torrent that collides with Iwan's power. but Iwan's attack is superior and carries back Vegeta's energy until it reaches him. Vegeta escapes before being hit and then advances towards Iwan, who launches several energy balls from his 4 hands, which the Saiyan has to dodge while continuing to advance. When he reaches Iwan, he throws a punch, but the blow is blocked by 2 of his arms, while the other 2 hit a double energy burst in Vegeta's abdomen from below, pushing him away again. And before Vegeta could recover, Iwan pursues and reaches him with a flying punch right in the middle of the chest, hitting the Saiyan with force. "It's not possible. Even though I'm completely recovered, he's still stronger," Vegeta observes in thought, completely surprised. On planet Cumber, the battle had also resumed. Goku and Cumber exchange blows in the sky, with each trying to hit the other, but having their attacks thwarted by the excellent defensive capabilities of Ultra Instinct. Amidst the various exchanged blows, Goku delivers a knee strike at the same time that Cumber delivers an elbow strike. Knee and elbow collide while releasing a strong electric current caused by the force of impact and the clash of the energies of the 2. The result is a small impact explosion that pushes Goku and Cumber away from each other. Cumber takes advantage of the distance to unleash several energy spheres against Goku, who after dodging them, responds with an energy beam released from one of his hands, which Cumber dodges, and then counterattacks with an energy claw, which Goku also avoids. After dodging, Goku advances, reaching Cumber in a fraction of a second with a sequence of attacks that Cumber dodges while retreating and defending. No longer wanting to retreat, Cumber dodges down, going to the ground, but is pursued by Goku, who approaches with a stomp that the Saiyan King avoids with a jump. After distancing himself with this jump, he points his 2 hands up and releases a sequence of energy beams that rise to the sky and then return to the ground, falling towards Goku like a rain of attacks. Goku moves with great speed and skill to escape the attacks, allowing the energy explosions to hit only the ground. After that, he teleports in front of Cumber, trying to surprise him with a kick, which Cumber defends with his forearm and then tries to counter with a punch. However, Goku dribbles the evil Saiyan by going to his back and attempts a point-blank energy shot from behind his head, hitting and stunning him. But despite receiving the shot, Cumber reacts immediately by turning around while trying to hit Goku with a kick. However, Goku slides under Cumber's leg to pass beneath it, goes back to his back, and attacks with another point-blank energy attack, this time hitting Cumber's supporting leg behind the knee and knocking him on his back. After knocking down Cumber, Goku jumps and from above points both his hands and shoots an energy barrage that sinks Cumber into the ground to the point of him passing through the other side of the planet. After reaching the other side of the planet, Cumber is already greeted by Goku, who arrived there first with instant transmission. When Cumber comes out of the ground, Goku is already in the sky waiting for him with a concentrated Kamehameha. While concentrating energy, he says to Cumber, "Considering the time and the way you learned this ability, you're very good at using Ultra Instinct. I have to admit that. But it can't compare to someone who's been perfecting this for years." Goku fires the Kamehameha, creating a massive explosion on the planet that can be seen from space, but the attack was useless since Cumber defended himself with an energy shield, and not only that, he has just transformed into a Super Saiyan. "So you can transform into a Super Saiyan too?" Goku asks, as he hadn't seen Cumber use this transformation before. The evil Saiyan answers the question by saying the following: "Oh yes, and in fact I don't stop here." After saying this, Cumber concentrates even more of his power, and in a few seconds he shocks Goku by transforming into Super Saiyan 3. "Get ready, Son Goku, because it's only now that you're going to see my true power," the God Slayer says. Vegeta and Iwan are in a frantic exchange of attacks, fighting at such an incredible speed that they unleash thousands of attacks against each other every second. Despite his efforts, Vegeta is the one who's faring worse, receiving much more attacks than his opponent. Part of this disadvantage is due to Iwan's 2 extra arms, but the main cause of his disadvantage is the power of the other Hakaishin, which is simply superior to his. There comes a moment when Iwan's disadvantage is completely noticeable, with the God of Universe 1 hitting non-stop attacks, while Vegeta can only shrink in a failed attempt at defense. Receiving a rain of punches from the opponent, Vegeta reacts by releasing his energy in a way that pushes Iwan away. After doing this, he launches an energy attack against the enemy, but Iwan is quick to respond, launching an even greater wave of power that simply overwhelms Vegeta's attack and carries it back to him. "Damn, I didn't want to use this, but there's no other way." Suddenly, Iwan's attack, which was advancing rapidly against Vegeta's attack, begins to be completely swept away by the Saiyan's energy, to the point where Iwan needs to dodge to avoid being completely engulfed by the power of the other God of Destruction. After dodging the attack, he looks at Vegeta and now understands what happened. Vegeta finally showed his final form, the Shinken form. Displaying his most powerful transformation, the Prince of Saiyan says, "I'm tired of this game. Now I'm going to destroy you mercilessly." Goku blocks an attack from Cumber in Super Saiyan 3. However, the evil Saiyan strength is so monstrous that it shatters Goku's block, throwing him with all force against the planet's surface. The impact of the collision is enormous, with Goku creating a massive crater in the ground that can be seen even from outside the planet. After receiving this impact, Goku ends up coughing up a handful of blood while acknowledging Cumber's incredible strength. "Your power is extraordinary, I must admit," he says to the other Saiyan. "And I still have so much more to show," Cumber responds. "But it's not just me who has more to show. You do too." While getting up, Goku admits, "That's true. To be honest, I was avoiding using this and tried to hold back until I see your maximum power. But you're really amazing, Cumber, and you've exceeded my expectations. I have no choice." Goku closes his eyes as he begins to release a very peculiar energy, which Cumber recognizes as similar to the energy Vegeta showed to his clone, albeit with some differences. In an instant, Goku's form changes. His final form is finally revealed. While showing this to Cumber, he says, "Cumber, get ready, because now you're going to see the real face of my power." After witnessing this transformation, Cumber becomes very intrigued and says, "This transformation reminds me a bit of the one Vegeta showed against my clone, but with some differences." The evil Saiyan remarks, "This is Shinken, the transformation that represents transcending limits." Goku says, "Now that I'm using this form, you can be sure that my abilities have evolved to a transcendental level." Despite these words, Cumber is not intimidated and begins to release the energy of his Super Saiyan 3 with intensity, causing the yellow and black aura surrounded by electricity to grow even more, while the entire planet Cumber trembles. Let's see how this so-called transcendental ability fares against my overwhelming power. Cumber charges at Goku with full force, delivering a direct punch to his face. But to his surprise, Goku stops his attack with just one finger. "What?" the Godslayer exclaims in shock. However, he doesn't give up. Disappearing from Goku's front, Cumber reappears next to him, attempting a kick. But it is easily stopped by hitting Goku's forearm, who clearly doesn't need much effort to defend himself. Cumber retreats, and extending his two hands, he unleashes a wave of energy against his opponent, who surprisingly deflects the attack with a simple slap, showing little effort. "This can't be happening," Cumber shouts, completely astonished. "But it is," Goku responds, appearing in front of Cumber in the blink of an eye, landing a precise punch in the Saiyan's stomach, causing him to widen his eyes as blood escapes from his mouth. Groaning in pain, Cumber recoils with his body hunched and hands over the region where Goku struck. Iwan also retreats, moving away with his hands over his chest, which has evidently just been attacked. He distances himself from Vegeta, who, displaying his Shinken form, advances slowly, floating through the vacuum. As Vegeta approaches, Iwan shoots several energy balls at him, which hit Vegeta in sequence but dissolve upon hitting a thin layer of destruction energy that Vegeta generates around his body. Seeing that the smaller attacks weren't having any effect, Iwan resorted to a bigger attack, a huge wave of energy that, when it hits Vegeta, simply disappears into small luminous flakes that float through the void. "It's useless," Vegeta says to his opponent. "With this form that transcends the power of destruction, I will make everything you send against me disappear, and in the end it will be you who disappears." From his palace, Zeno watches all of this along with Daishinken and his bodyguards. He's very curious about this whole thing involving Shinken, and asks Daishinken to explain it better. Shinken is what we can call the higher stage. Daishinken begins to explain. The Grand Priest says that Shinken is a stage where a being has reached a transcendental understanding of his own power, where its abilities are developed to the limit. Someone who has achieved Shinken is a person who has fully understood their own body and spirit, as well as all their power. Daishinken also says that this is a very difficult stage to reach, and there are few people throughout the multiverse who have reached this stage of development. He finally concludes that to have reached this stage at this age, Goku and Vegeta must have trained intensely and must have had an excellent teacher, as all the other beings he knows who reach this level have millions of years of life. Zeno is completely impressed by this and says that Goku and Vegeta are amazing. Cumber tries multiple attacks against Goku, unleashing blows with his hands, elbows, feet, knees, head. He's using every possible weapon of his body, but nothing hits Goku, who dodges everything with surprising ease. There's a moment when Goku dodges one of Cumber's attacks, going behind him, and then, with an attack using two of his fingers, he hits a point on Cumber's spine that simply paralyzes him. "Cursed!" Cumber yells. Goku says that in his current state, his attacks are not only strong, but also extremely precise and impactful. Furthermore, all the defensive abilities of his Ultra Instinct are at their peak, which means Cumber won't be able to hit him unless he transcends his own limits significantly. After saying these things, Goku concentrates a considerable amount of power in one hand to land a deadly attack on Cumber. But the God Slayer, in an act of fury and desperation, releases a massive amount of energy, causing his Super Saiyan 3's golden and black aura to grow even more. This time also showing the red aura of his Kaioken increased 100 times. Faced with the force of this released energy, Goku is pushed back and realizes that Cumber has regained his movements. You bastard! If you think you're going to defeat the great Cumber so easily, you're very mistaken. The God Slayer shouts, furious. Goku, on the other hand, remains calm and patient, saying that Cumber can delay his defeat but not avoid it. While yelling for Goku to shut up, Cumber flies towards him, attempting a flying kick, but Goku with a gentle touch dodges Cumber's foot, letting him pass straight through. But Cumber stops in midair and returns with a punch, but Goku deflects the course of this punch as if it were nothing, letting him pass straight through and spinning in the air. Cumber returns even more furious with another punch, but Goku simply intercepts it, meeting Cumber with an elbow to the chest. An elbow so well placed that Cumber's heart simply stops beating for a second. But Cumber self-revives, elevating his power even further, exploding with energy, releasing the Super Saiyan 3 aura multiplied by 200 times through Kaioken. Curse be you, Son Goku! The King of Evil Saiyans roars in fury. Cumber attacks again, this time with a knee, which Goku easily holds with one hand. After that, he attempts an elbow strike, which Goku also effortlessly holds. Taking advantage of the proximity, Cumber tries to surprise Goku with a headbutt, but he is the one surprised when Goku intercepts the headbutt by thrusting 2 fingers into his eye. Cumber recoils in pain, hand over his wounded eye, blood spilling. But not even this stops the evil Saiyan. As he retreats, he fires a highly concentrated energy sphere at Goku. However, Goku, with incredible fluidity, grabs Cumber's energy sphere and smoothly hurls it back at him. Cumber is hit by his own energy, and a massive explosion occurs in the planet's sky. Tired of firing energy attacks at Vegeta, Iwan decides to advance with a punch. But when the punch lands, Vegeta doesn't even move. After calmly receiving Iwan's attack, Vegeta grabs his wrist and with a single squeeze crushes it. Iwan attempts another punch, but this time he doesn't even hit, as Vegeta holds his hand with his other hand and then crushes it with a single grip. After doing this, he lands a punch right to Iwan's chest, causing the first god of destruction to recoil while choking due to the crushing of his lungs. Iwan doesn't give up, and with his last good hands, he shoots 2 energy beams at Vegeta, but Vegeta holds each one with one hand. Then he releases his own energy from his hands, carrying Iwan's energy back to him and exploding directly in the other Hakaishin's body. The power of the explosion is enormous, making the entire universe tremble. After receiving this attack from Vegeta, Iwan remains paralyzed, his body covered in severe wounds. While observing his opponent like this, Vegeta says, "Your power is impressive, much greater than I expected, but even you cannot compare to the power of this superior form." However, to Vegeta's complete surprise, a light begins to shine on Iwan's body, and this light transmits an energy that the Saiyan God knows very well. What? What does this mean? Vegeta wonders, completely disbelieving in what he is seeing. Iwan screams. The first god of destruction scream is deafening, causing a wave of sonic impact to echo throughout the vacuum of that universe, and even Vegeta's body, filled with the superior energy of Shinken, shudders at that scream. Iwan is surrounded by a very peculiar energy, with the purple color of destruction energy, but at the same time it shines. After being surrounded by this energy, Iwan disperses it all at once, releasing a stream of force that even Vegeta has to make an effort not to be carried away. Now, Iwan shows a very distinctive transformation, a form that, feeling the emanating energy, Vegeta recognizes as a Shinken form. This can't be possible. This guy also has Shinken, Vegeta exclaims. The impossible happens. When the battle seems to be won, Vegeta is surprised as Iwan reveals that he also possesses a Shinken form. What will happen now? Do Goku and Vegeta still have the conditions to win this battle? Find out in the next episodes of Dragon Ball Shinken.